Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. And then in the last balanced patch notes that we saw in late November, there was a mention we would get one more balanced patch coming before the winter break, and worlds are wrapping up today. Get your drops if you haven't already. And that means we have like 1 week until the winter break. So we are pretty much certainly going to be getting a balance patch this week. And I thought I would do my usual, give my predictions on what I think will get nerfed, maybe buffed. And yes, I even have a wild prediction this time around because, I mean, for the love of God, help wild, it needs it. And I just feel like it's time for a certain card to get a change. So as always, feel free to share your own predictions in the comments down below. If you feel like I've earned your subscription and you enjoy the content on the channel, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. We take a look at the front page of HS Replay. We can see Shaman at the top by quite a bit, like 2% over everything else. Priest in the dumpster, although Zarimi Priest, one of the best decks in the game. People just don't play it a ton, but yeah, the top outlier definitely seems to be Shaman. I know this isn't the greatest indicator, but let's just take a look at like HS Replay meta at Legend. Top deck, the only tier 1 deck, Pirate Shaman. Top 1000 Legend, Pirate Shaman. Diamond through Legend, Pirate Shaman. It's like that Swarm Shaman deck, right? And if you take a look at HS Guru, look at the decks to play. You can play Shaman. That's a lot of Shaman. And no, it is sorted by any class. It is just the best deck right now. It's pretty dominant. And again, you look at the breakdown of the meta at Diamond through Legend. So you see like Zarimi Priest is a pretty good deck, just very unpopular. At Legend, we're looking at, again, very similar stats. With Shaman being near the top, and I think top 1K, the only place it's not the top, we have Lanessa Paladin with a very small sample size being up there. So what do I think will get nerfed? Well, certainly Shaman, but also some cards that are popping up in a lot of decks. So let's dive into it. Let's go into the collection. I think we're going to see quite a few neutral changes this time around. So Death Knight, don't think is going to get nerfed. Don't think we'll get buffed. I'm not even going to predict buffs because I just don't know what you're buffing. The Starship stuff, like, it's all self-contained. How can you buff it more than it is? Same with Draenei. They could possibly do something, but I just feel like they just need to tone down some of the top decks and see how things go. And then the mini set's going to be in January, right? That's what I would imagine happens. Demon Hunter, I feel like they're going to get nerfed indirectly because one of the best cards, it could happen, is used by Shaman and is a prime candidate to get hit, which is Sigil of Skydiving. This card is just obscenely good. Getting 3 charges, pirate charges, right, on 2. It's insane with like Zilliax, with all your swarm, like Bloodlust, and they got charged. So you can set up like OTKs with Bloodlust. Basically, I feel like this goes to 3 mana, or you take a pirate away. It's one of the cards that could get hit. They could pass on this one. I could see this one not getting nerfed. When we're talking about Shaman, the other card that really stands out to me that, if you look at the numbers, is incredibly high in the deck is Pop-Up Book. Pop-Up Book. It's 1 mana, get 2 tokens, push damage. It can go face, good with spell damage. Like, it is so insanely strong that I could easily see this card going to 1 frog instead of 2, right? Just trying to mitigate a little bit of that swarm ability. Yeah, to me, it's Sigil or Pop-Up Book. Those are 2 of the clear cards outside of 1 card that's in like every deck that is probably in the thumbnail that I feel like it's really like almost certainly going to get nerfed. One of my probably safer predictions, I would say. So yeah, Druid, I think, will get a hit. Dungar Druid in particular, if you watch Worlds or play ladder at all, you know how frustrating it is. But I don't think you're nerfing a Druid card for that purpose. I think you're nerfing a neutral. So again, we'll talk about that when we get to neutrals. Hunter, I don't think it gets nerfed yet. I think Discover Hunter is going to become a pretty powerful thing once everything else gets slowed down. So like Rengari Scout, Zark Niel, and the 5 mana spell, in particular Alien Encounters. These are cards I would keep on my lookout for list at some point. Not now, definitely not now, but maybe in the future. Obviously, Mage not getting hit, not insanely powerful. Paladin's really good, Lanessa Paladin in particular, but I'd be shocked if they would hit that now. It's not that popular. It's counterable. Zarimi Priest, as good as it is, not super popular. It's counterable. I don't see it getting nerfed. Rogue, I gotta say, if it's not time for Sonia to get nerfed now, when is it? Like, Sonia, to me, it is time. I know I have 3 signatures and a golden and 2 regulars. I will get a lot of dust if it gets nerfed, but to me, it's the card that frustrates me the most out of any card on ladder. What it can do, it's beyond infuriating. It's one of the best decks at higher legend, and it just designed limit so many things with the way it is. And my proposed change, I tweeted this out a while ago, was to make it after you play a 1-cost minion, get a copy of it that costs 0. Like, that way, it's still a really good, honestly, might still be busted. It really is, but it mitigates like the breakdance synergy in particular. Or Grifta, you don't get both of the amulets, right? You get multiple Griftas, but you don't get multiple amulets, so it doesn't like compound like that. So that's my thought. If they just make it like 5, I don't think it accomplishes anything other than like Buccaneer or Scoundrel doesn't make it 1 when you play it. I thought the change of making a 1-cost minion instead of card would just not kill the card without completely reworking it, like capping it, like the first 1-cost card you play this turn. Like, you could do that, but the card would likely just be outright dead. Not that I would complain, but I'm trying to have a more nuanced, less biased approach to it. So that's my suggestion. I doubt it happened, but I feel like this card has to get nerfed. It's had its time. It's pretty insane. And they're probably sick of hearing people like me complain about it. Maybe, I don't know. Regardless, look out for Sonia. Yeah, Shaman, other than, I mean, I already suggested the 2. I don't see anything else really getting hit. It's going to be one of those 2 spells. They're the best performing cards in the deck entirely. I guess the other one you could look out for is Cookie. Make it 4 so it doesn't curve as well with the Sigil. That's another suggestion you could do. But other than that, yeah, I don't know what else you're really hitting with Shaman. Warlock, you're not nerfing right now. Warrior, you're definitely not nerfing. And then we have the neutrals, and yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Ethereal Oracle. This card is insane. It's in like over 30% of decks. If you watch Worlds, it's almost every deck at Worlds. It just lets every deck have almost like unlimited draw, it feels like. And the way it tutors other spells and the spell damage on top of it lets every deck become like a burn OTK almost style deck, especially like an aggro demon hunter or something like that. It just lets every deck just draw so well, clears so well, burns so well. It's too much for a neutral, right? It's way too much for a neutral. I would expect this to either go to 4 mana, draw 1 spell, or go to draw 2 cards. So it doesn't just specifically tutor spells, because that's a huge strength of it too. I can't imagine this card stays in its current form, you know, its whole life cycle. And I feel like it's the time to nerf it. And especially the way Rogue abuses it with like Shadow Step, and they just draw through their whole deck and start slamming giants on turns 5 and 6. You know, you can change Sonia. That won't change that giant deck. So Ethereal, I feel like it's time. And it's even insane than Wild. It's made XL Shadow Priest one of the best decks out there, which is pretty darn crazy. The other neutrals I want to talk about, yeah, there's 2 more that I think have a realistic shot of getting nerfed. And no, it's not Ceaseless, although it's in like a ton of decks. It's actually like the most played card. It's even more than Ethereal. I think Dungar will pay the Druid tax of just, it's such a frustration point. It's just ridiculous. The drawn or the played win rate on it is like astronomically high, that they either make it like 10 mana or summon 2 minions, right? Just something. But like, and it's only really seeing play in Druid, but it's always these stupid neutrals because Druid can play it way too soon compared to every other class, that it always becomes a problem. So Dungar to me stands out again as another card that could get hit, and Zilliax for like the billionth time. And there's 2 big ones you could look at. Ticking module, again, make it more expensive so it doesn't come down as soon as it is. It's still coming down really fast. Or virus module, take Reborn off of it, you know, so you can't constantly bring it back with your Unkiliax style of thing. Take Elusive off of it, because Unkiliax is, again, huge frustration point. But honestly, I just rather Zilliax rotate a year early. It's already been nerfed 4 times. Are we really going to nerf it 5, 6 times now? And it's still probably going to be problematic? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of my picks for standard. And yes, I did say wild. I think it's time. I know I'm being optimistic, but my God, like I've never seen the community more unified in its like disdain. People outright quitting the game, not wanting to play because of the demon seed. This needs to get changed. It's time. Like, make it 8 mana, make it 9 mana. Do something to Tamsin to make it really, really hard to play. The Dark Glare stuff is ridiculous. You could nerf Dark Glare, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to the inevitability of the Demon Seed, how it's auto win against any slower deck, and that's just always been the issue. Since it came out 3 years ago, they have nerfed around it. I don't know how many times. They have nerfed the card itself multiple times, and it is still always an issue because of the text on this card. I don't think you make it a damage both people, because Hearthstone, you just can still do the same thing, combo and just heal up while you do it. Doesn't really matter. You have to rework this in a significant way, and I really hope they do, because it's just time. It's time. Changing numbers on this stuff, I don't think will be good enough. I think we need a significant rework, and I'm hoping it will actually happen. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.